everyone, welcome to Red Cape Universe. My name is Aditya and I work with the analytics industry for last 5 years. And here we are building community of people who believe in democratizing education. And to start this mission, we have choose Excel as the first product, and soon we will add more learning paths to this. So today we will learn about the string formulas in Excel. These string formulas are basically useful when you have a data which is not very well formatted and you want to create something valuable out of that data points. Let's say you have a date which does not have separator for month and date and year. So then to read that date, it becomes pretty difficult and you could use some string manipulation to create new date format from it. So we'll start with the basics of formulas, and at the end of this whole series we will have one more session where we will explain the actual industry use for these different formulas for you guys. So today's problem statement is basically if you have a data that needs some cleansing and most of it's a text data, and rightly said it's almost 80% of the data is in string format. So how to make things easy for us and change that data so that we could build some analysis out of that data set, right? So that's the whole motive of today's video. So we will go to string modulation formulas. First is using exact and using equal to. So in Excel, if you want to compare two strings, there are two options. You can either go for an exact match or using exact formula, or you could just simply use a equal to sign and whether check whether these two strings are comparable or not, right? So that's what we are doing. So what I've done is I've written my names with A capital and A small, and using exact I'm just comparing two form data points. So what exact formula is doing, so I'll just say exact. Now it's asking me the text one and text two. We just have to give the input for the text, right? So first text is in C3 and second text is in D3. I'll just close this and it says false. Actually is not an exact match, right? So the A is small in the second string. Now if you have to do this, so for example we tend to make a mistake of writing our first name or starting with a small letter as a human being sometimes. So to whether just to check whether these are equal strings or not, so we can just use equal to sign, which will basically tell us if the strings are the same but the lower and upper case doesn't matter in that sense. So it will do is equal to, we'll go to Aditya, which is C4, equal to, we'll go to D4 and hit enter. It says true, right? So Aditya and Aditya is the same thing. It's just that I have written in C4 as a capital A and in D4 it's a small a. So that is how the difference is there in exact and using equal to sign. It just depend on your use case what you want to use. Next we will move to fixed. What fixes basically, let's say you have a data which is in string format but you want to remove the decimals out of it. What we use is basically we will say is equal to fixed and we will type in. Now Excel is asking for number. We'll give them as a B7, comma. How many decimals you want? I want zero decimals. I'll say zero. How many commas you want? I say I want one. So true prevent commas and for zero prevents do not prevent commas. So I want comma, so I will save one. I'll say close this and hit enter. So now we will look at fix. We'll just type in equal to fix and we'll press tab. The number is over here. Now what I want is, do I want decimal? No, I don't want decimal, so I'll say zero. And if we are pressing 1, that means basically there are no commas, we are preventing the commas. And if we are pressing 0, that means we are allowing commas to be in place. So I'll say 0 that I want commas, right? I'll say hit enter. Now the decimals have removed, and if I do again F4 and I see that I just want commas, if I hit enter again, the commas are gone, right? Because it's just a value that you give 0 or 1 to prevent commas or not. The next part in this is basically finding the string. So there are two ways to do this. Is one is search, one is find. So find is basically a case sensitive thing and search is not a case sensitive thing. So what they return is they basically return the position at which your string starts, the string that you are given. So for example, in this, if I say find, it's asking me find a text. I am saying I want to find red, and now I'll say within the text. So what is the text that I want to find in? So it's in B10. I want to find whether red is present in Aditya Kulkarni as a part of Red Cape. So, and I don't have any start number. I don't know where it locates, right? So the start number is optional field over here. I could see just simply complete this and hit enter. Now it says that on 28th position, you have red. So red will start at 28th position. So what we will do is we will just copy this entire thing from the, I will paste them into the below cell, that, and I'll check the length of it. Okay, just paste it over here, and we will change the form from text to general, right? And I'll say len and equal to this. It's 28. So R is at position of 28 in this whole string. Now, what if I do it small r? Let's try that. If I do a small r, it's basically going to give me an error. Why? Because the small r doesn't recognize as an indexing position into the string. So it does not understand that there is a word which start with small r. But if I say, let's say, I say, I just want ed, not an r, it will give me a value of 29 because it starts with e. So this is a case sensitive formula. So we have a case sensitive formula, which is find, and we have a non-case sensitive formula, which is search, right? So I'll say search. Now it's saying find text, within text, same. The find text is red, comma, within text is this. And I don't want to give start number because I don't know. So I'll say hit enter. It's again giving me a value of 28, right? Because this syntax is same. Now let's say I move this R to capital. It does not give me an error, right? It's still giving me a value of 28 because the search function is not case sensitive. Now let's say I want to replace something. I don't want to write red and cape separate. I want to make them as a combined entity into the string for a record. So what I'll say is I will say replace. Now it's saying me give me the old text. So what is the old text? It is this. Now it's saying give me a start number. Okay. Now what is start number over here? So start number is basically the position where you want to start replacing the string. So I know that red cape is starting from 28. So I'll say 28. Now it says number of characters that you want to replace. So how many characters are there in red cape? In the original string, there are 3 in red, 1 space, and 4 in cape. So that equivalents to 8 characters. So I will say comma 8, and I have to give the new text, and that is this. Complete the formula, hit enter. Now the red cape is replaced by combined entity of red cape. So when do you use replace is if you know the exactly where the data points lie in terms of positioning within the string. If you know that, it's good and you can use it. So maybe in a standard case of a phone number that you want to identify that these many after these many digits you want to put an hyphen. So in those cases the replace is more favorable. In cases where you're not sure whether how much long the string will be, like a customer name, you don't know whether customer name will be 10 alphabet long or 50 alphabet long, right? It's just you don't know about everything. So next is substitute. uh like, let's say that all of the email addresses have at the rate something.com at the end of its email, right? So for example, you have a customer who was using Gmail addresses in his previous time. Now that Gmail has changed their own website. So just take an example of customers who were using Gmail as their primary email before they changed to its own personal email addresses. So let's say that it was aditya.kulkarni@gmail.com. Now I have moved from Gmail to my own personal website called Red Cape. So now my new email address is aditya.kulkarni@redcape.com. So now in that situation, I would need to replace the values in the database, right? So how I can do that? I can just use substitute for that. What is substitute? Equal to, I'll just type substitute. The first thing is that you have to give the text. So text is over here. Aditya Kulkarni is part of Red Cape. You have to give the old text. This is the old string that I want to replace. This is the new string that I want to put in instead of old string, right? I'll say hit here. And instance number, this is an optional field that you want to provide or not, but that's how you can execute this formula, and you can hit enter, and the red cape, which was in small case, will be changed to uppercase entirely. So this is how you basically use replace and substitute. So if you know the position, you will use replace. If you don't know the position where do you want to replace it, you basically use substitute formula. Next is left and right. What is left and right? So let's just think of one big slice of bread, and you want a slice of that bread. But let's suppose that someone tells you you can have it from left only. So you can cut from left, and let's say someone else told you that only you can have it from right. So in that scenario, it's basically telling you that you can have four slices of bread from the left or right, at least from one side, right? So that's how the left and right works. So if you want to slice a string like a bread, you can use these formulas. So for example, you want to create a username for everyone in the organization. So what you can do is simply maybe take first four letters of their first name and last three letters of their last name and create a string and use an @ and Gmail, something like that. So what I wanted to do is remove my name out of that so that I can use this field somewhere else. So what I'll do is I'll say left, and it's asking me a text. The text is this B22, and it's saying how many number of characters that you want to slice. I want to keep it dynamic so that anyone can change it according to their own name. So I'll say I want to do it for C22, and I'll hit close. It's Aditya. Now if I say I change this to Bob, if you see, the left output changes to Bob space KU because it's taking 6 characters out of that string. But ideally what we want is 3 characters, so we'll say 3, and we will have 3 character slice for us. So that's what left does, and same as for right. You just equal to type right, and you hit text, and you know how many strings that you want to export. Ideally I would say 8 I want, but I want to keep it dynamic, so I'll give a cell reference and I'll close this, and I'll say 8 so that my channel name will come up. So I know if every string is going to end with red cape, I can extract by using a right formula, giving 8 as in number of characters that I want to slice from the right side of the string. That's about it for manipulation of string. Thank you very much for watching this video. And if these videos are adding values to your learning goal, please hit like, subscribe for more content like this, and share it with your friends and family because we release videos on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And share your thoughts in the comment section so that we know what you want to see next. So thank you and bye bye.